Let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest with yourself for a second. When was the last time you really paid attention to the smell of your dog's pee? I know. I know how that sounds. Nobody wants to talk about this. You're standing in the backyard at 6 in the morning, coffee in one hand, waiting for your dog to finish, and something hits your nose. That sharp, heavy, almost chemical smell, way stronger than it should be. And for just a second, a little voice in the back of your head whispers, "That's not normal." And then your dog trots back inside, wagging that tail, happy as ever, and you tell yourself you're imagining things. You push it down, you move on with your day. But here's the truth, and I say this as someone who has sat across from thousands of worried dog owners in my career. That little voice, it's usually right. And the smell you keep noticing and keep ignoring is your dog's body trying to tell you something before it becomes a real problem. I'm Dr. Sidney, and today I want to talk to you about something almost nobody talks about openly, even though every single dog owner has noticed it at least once. Strong smelling urine. And more than that, I want to talk about that quiet fear that comes with it. Because let's be honest, it's not really about the smell, is it? It's about what the smell might mean. Is it an infection? Is something wrong with the kidneys? Is my dog sick and hiding it from me? That fear sits in your chest, and you don't say it out loud, because saying it out loud makes it feel real. So let me take that weight off you right now by explaining what's actually happening. And I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to feel a whole lot calmer, and you're going to have something simple you can do tonight. Here's what most people don't understand about their dog's urine. The smell, the color, the strength of it, that's basically a report card on how much water your dog is actually getting. When urine is pale, almost clear, and barely has a smell, that means your dog is well hydrated. The kidneys have plenty of water to work with, so they flush everything out easily. But when that urine turns dark yellow, sometimes almost amber, and hits you with that strong ammonia smell from across the yard, that's the opposite. That's concentrated urine. And concentrated urine means one thing. Your dog's kidneys are working overtime, trying to squeeze out the body's waste with barely any water to do it. Now think about this for a moment. Think about what most dogs eat every single day. Dry kibble. That's it. Bowl of dry food in the morning, bowl of dry food at night. And you might be thinking, but I always keep the water bowl full, Dr. Sidney. I believe you. I really do. But here's the thing. A lot of dogs are just not big drinkers. They're not wired to sit and drink glass after glass of water the way we might. In the wild, dogs got most of their moisture from their food, from fresh prey that was full of water. But dry kibble is, well, dry. It pulls moisture out of the body to digest. So you end up with a dog that's slowly, quietly running low on water. Not enough to collapse, not enough to look sick, just enough to keep those kidneys straining day after day, month after month. And this is where that fear you've been carrying starts to make sense. Because chronic dehydration, this slow, low-grade lack of water, it's the perfect setup for exactly the thing you're afraid of. Urinary infections. When urine sits concentrated and the dog isn't flushing the bladder often enough, bacteria get a chance to move in and settle down. The most common troublemaker is a bacteria called E. coli. It creeps up into the bladder, and it loves an environment where the urine is sitting still and the conditions are just right for it to multiply. So maybe this has happened to you already. Maybe you've been down this road. Your dog starts having accidents in the house, or squatting again and again, or you notice they're licking themselves more than usual. You take them to the vet, infection, you get antibiotics, and for a couple of weeks everything's great. The problem clears up, you breathe a sigh of relief, and then a month or two later it comes right back. Same thing. Another round of antibiotics. And you start to feel like you're stuck on a treadmill treating the same infection over and over, and nobody can tell you why it keeps coming back. I want you to really hear me on this next part, because this is the piece that changes everything. Antibiotics kill the bacteria that's there right now. They treat the fire, but they do absolutely nothing about the reason the fire keeps starting. And the reason, so often, is that underlying dehydration and the concentrated, unbalanced urine that comes with it. If your dog's bladder isn't getting flushed out with enough water and the urine stays the perfect environment for bacteria, then of course it keeps coming back. You're not failing your dog. You've just been handed a solution that only treats half the problem. The medicine addresses the symptom, but the root cause has been sitting in the water bowl the whole time, or rather, in the lack of it. So let's talk about what you can actually do tonight. And I love this part because it's honestly so simple that people almost don't believe me when I tell them. The first thing is the easiest thing in the world. Add water to your dog's food. That's it. When you put down that bowl of dry kibble tonight, pour some warm water over it first. Let it sit for a few minutes until it softens up a little. Warm water, not hot, just comfortable to the touch. This does two things at once. It makes the food smell richer, so most dogs actually get more excited to eat it. And it sneaks a real amount of water into your dog's system without them having to make any effort to drink it. You're hydrating them through their meal the way nature intended in the first place. Now, if you want to take it a step further and give that bowl something your dog will absolutely lose their mind over, use bone broth instead of plain water. And I want to be very clear here because this matters. Plain bone broth, made for dogs or made at home with no onion, no garlic, and no added salt. Onions and garlic are toxic to dogs, so this is not the seasoned broth from the grocery store shelf. A simple plain broth poured warm over the kibble adds moisture, it adds flavor, and even the pickiest eater tends to dive right in. You're turning a dry, moisture-stealing meal into something that actually helps hydrate your dog from the inside out. And there's one more piece, especially if your dog has that history of coming back with infection after infection. A small amount of unsweetened cranberry. Now, this is not the sugary cranberry juice cocktail from the store. That sugar can actually make things worse. I'm talking about plain, unsweetened cranberry in a small dose appropriate for your dog's size. Cranberry has been used for a long time to help make the urinary environment less friendly to bacteria, making it harder for that E. coli to grab hold of the bladder wall and set up shop. It's not a magic cure, and I never want you to think of it that way. But as part of the bigger picture, alongside all that added hydration, it can help tip the balance back in your dog's favor. Picture what that looks like a few weeks from now. Your dog's urine going back to that pale, light color, that harsh smell fading away, the bladder getting properly flushed out, day after day, the way it's supposed to be. And you standing in that backyard at 6 in the morning, coffee in hand, and instead of that little knot of worry in your stomach, you feel something else. You feel like the kind of owner who caught it, who paid attention, who noticed the quiet signal and did something about it before it turned into something bigger. That's a good feeling. You earned that feeling. But I would be doing you a disservice if I didn't stop here and speak very plainly for a moment, because some things are not a job for the water bowl. There are warning signs that mean you set all of this aside and get to a veterinarian right away. If you see blood in your dog's urine, if your dog is straining, squatting again and again, and nothing is coming out, if your dog seems tired, low, not themselves, dragging through the day alongside that strong smell, these are not signals to try a home remedy. A dog that is truly unable to pass urine is a genuine emergency, and every minute counts. Please do not wait on those. Home care is for prevention and for the slow, everyday things. It is never a replacement for a vet when your gut is telling you something is really wrong. So here's what I want you to walk away with. That smell you kept noticing and kept brushing off, it was never nothing. It was your dog's body doing the only thing it knows how to do, which is send you a signal and hope you're paying attention. And now you are. You know what it means. You know that so much of it comes down to something as ordinary and as fixable as a bowl of water. The dogs who thrive, who stay clear of those endless infections, who keep those kidneys healthy well into old age, they usually don't have some special genetics or some expensive secret. They just have someone at home who noticed, someone who cared enough to soften the food, to warm the broth, to pay attention to the little things. That someone is you. And the fact that you stayed with me all the way through this, thinking about your own dog the whole time, that tells me everything I need to know about the kind of owner you are. Go pour that bowl tonight. Your dog can't say thank you, but their body will.